Hi guys, so what you're listening to right now is the Rode Wireless Pro, and I gotta say, Rode has done a bad thing here. They have made it impossible to recommend any other microphone system because it is pretty much perfect. Come on guys, you know I love giving people options. This is a review channel. Rode, what are you doing to me? Let's talk about it. So it is not hyperbole to say that Rode has pretty much created a perfect microphone system. First of all, it has 32-bit float. A lot of you know by now, 32-bit float is just, you can speak really, really quietly, really, really loudly, and you can just change the levels. If you bring up softer levels to higher, you're not going to increase the noise floor. You're not going to hear a bunch of that staticky noise that you would hear on other 24-bit recordings, and you can just bring things down that you have peaked, so you're not going to peak your microphone. Now, a lot of people are saying you will never peak your microphone. That is not true. If you overload the capsule, if you scream too loudly into the microphone, the lavalier microphone, or this wireless transmitter right here, then you can still peak. You can still peak at the mic level. But as long as you're not peaking at the mic level, you can recover any kind of audio. But basically for me, the 32-bit float means ease of use. You never have to set your levels. You don't have to worry about if people are talking too quietly or too loudly. You don't have to worry about it. In post, you can just drag your sliders up and down and get perfect, clean audio. But friends of the channel know I already have a 32-bit float recorder with the Tentacle Track E, and there are other 32-bit float recorders like the Zoom F2 Tascam has another one. So why is this Rode different and better? And the answer is timecode. You can use timecode to sync this up with your camera. So right now, connected to my ZV-E1, I have the actual receiver for the Rode. Like right now, you're just hearing what is on this transmitter itself, the 32-bit float right here. But I'm also recording to the camera. I'm recording a backup track. On the left channel is just the audio going into the camera, and on the right track is the timecode. And it sounds kind of like a fax machine having a seizure, and you can use that timecode to sync up that audio timecode. You can sync up in post what is on this particular recorder. So if I'm starting and stopping this camera like I often do, I can just leave this thing recording here, and because of the timecode, later on if I have 50, 80, 900 clips, I can just sync them up in post with the click of a button, and then oh my goodness, that is so great. You get the best of everything. I get a 32-bit float recording that is just synced up with all of my footage. Fantastic. So I will give you a demonstration of how I actually do that in post, but first let's talk a little bit more about all of the things that come in this kit. Well, first you have a charging case, and I think in 2023 Rode had to come out with a charging case because after all, Hollyland, the Lark Max, and the DJI wireless mic, these things have charging cases, and I absolutely love these microphones, but I just can't recommend them over the Rode right now with all of the extra features. Now, if you don't need these extra features of the Rode, you may still be happy with your DJI or your Hollyland. I know I certainly would be, but to have that extra 32-bit float recording and the time code. But of course, with the case, if you take out the two transmitters and the receiver, they are synced up. They are ready to go. If you ever lose sync, you can easily sync them back up. But then you get this other little matching handsome case that comes along. It's not a charging case. It is a holding case. It holds so many goodies. And this is one of the really great things about this particular product. It has everything. Like Rode really thought about what is everything that you need, and they stuffed it in these two little packages, and I love it. Like, look at this right here. This is a little metal clip that clips to the back of one of the transmitters. It comes with two, and it has this cute little magnet with the Rode logo on it. Rode likes to put their logo on everything, and it can just, this is how I've clipped it to my shirt, but I don't like to always use these big transmitters here on my shirt or on my lapel. They drag your shirt down. All of a sudden you're giving people a little too much of a show, you know what I mean? So Rode, they have you covered because it comes with not one but two lavalier microphones. So you can just plug this right into the transmitter there to have a much smaller profile, much more discreet, and then you don't have a big heavy brick hanging on your shirt. You can just put that there on your pants, you know, and that's what I like to do. And here it has a little locking 3.5 millimeter locking mechanism. Boy, with the Sony, you really got to cover up your eyes, eh? Or it just keeps that autofocus. It grips onto you like grim death. It never lets go, but it has a little locking mechanism to go into the 3.5 millimeter jack, which is fantastic. You're not going to get accidental slippage, and that will work with other transmitters as well. Has these little clips here for the lapel, and also those little newscastery little wind muffs for the lapel, but I use the bigger ones. Like, look at this. This one right here. This is for me. When I'm out and about, I'm using the lapel mic. I stick this here. What are those guards called over in England? And they wear these hats. That is what this is. Of course, these little things also come for the transmitter. You just put it on there and you can lock it in if you don't want to bother with the lapel mic like I like to. Of course, it has a USB-C connector to connect it to your USB-C devices, and the Apple connector. In case you don't have one of the new Apple phones with USB-C, then you have the old Apple Lightning connector right here, so you are covered for your mobile devices. It also comes with these color-coded clips here that you can stick on the lavalier microphone, so you always know which mic is which. And a USB-C cable that just goes right into the back of the charging case itself, so you can charge the case and all of the things in it, the two transmitters and the receiver. And more than that, you can also just transfer all of the files from the transmitters themselves onto your computer. You can also go into Rode Central and set up all of your settings that way. And you can connect as well to other Rode devices. This thing is so fully featured. Now I'm testing out the Rode Wireless Pro with the included lavalier. How does that sound to you? Does that sound better or worse? The same as the actual transmitter itself? Because this is how I will generally use this. Well, not with the transmitter also next to the microphone. That would be ridiculous. So now let me just show you how insanely useful this product is for me over at the old computational device. So the Rode actually records the timecode to one of the audio tracks on your camera. So if you're a DaVinci Resolve user, you're in luck. Then DaVinci Resolve can just read that timecode and you can sync up your clips in post. But I'm a Final Cut user and Premiere Pro users as well. We can't do that as of yet in our particular editing program, so I use a different software. I use the Tentacle Sync Studio, and that's because I use Tentacle products. So I do have this Tentacle Sync Studio for free, and that will work. They do give you a 14-day free trial if you want to try it out for yourself. Then there is a one-time purchase if you're not a DaVinci person, or maybe you could just switch to DaVinci. Anyway, let's bring up the project right here. So here are all my clips, my ZV E1 clips. I have 4 of them, and this is my WAV file from my Rode device. I just dragged it over as well. So I can drag these clips over here and drag my audio over here, and I'll get rid of my little Finder window. So this is right here now the Tentacle Sync Studio, and I just highlight all of my clips, and then I will export the media right here onto the actual, my example. I had to get the right file. So now I can just export that, and I'll do it in real time here while we talk because it will be very fast. And there it is. It is now done. So I can just bring up my clips again. And now you see these are the ones with the .movie file. So I will highlight the .mov files and then drag those over to my project. And there we go. They're all synced up. Now I'm using S-Log 3 footage, so it is nice and gray, but the audio is there. It is synced across the 4 clips. So if I had 50 clips, 60 clips, just there, I could just drag them in to that Tentacle Studio and then sync it all up in post. That is a huge headache saver for me. There you go. Now, I do like the Tentacle Track E very much, and you saw their software. It's a very good software. And of course, they have timecode devices as well, the Tentacle Sync. And you can put one of those devices on anything that has a microphone input. So you can have many different devices syncing up timecode as well as this right here. But for my particular use case, where it's just me usually filming on one microphone or two microphones, but having multiple clips of the same camera, the Rode has really solved a big problem for me, and I appreciate it. Thank you, Rode. Thanks for sending these things out, but don't think that them sending it to me for review is swaying my opinion much, because I am sent all of the other wireless microphones as well. I am a reviewer. Generally speaking, if I am reviewing the wireless microphones, they have been sent to me for free. But I will say, if you do have the Hollyland Lark Max and you like what it does for you, I would see no real reason to change. This was also sent to me for review, and I really like this Hollyland Lark Max. It's got great internal recording, it's got great features, but it doesn't come with any lavaliers, it doesn't have 32-bit float, and it doesn't have any timecode. It is, though, $100 cheaper, and this DJI wireless microphone, which I also did not pay for, is still a fantastic microphone, and I really like it a lot. But once again, doesn't come with the lavaliers, doesn't come with 32-bit float or timecode, but it is more elegant, I find, taking it in and out of the actual charging case. Same thing with the Hollyland. I really like how smooth that is. You know, it's just connected by magnets when you go to charge it, whereas with the Rode, you know, it's really just in there by USB-C, and you kind of have to yank it out. It is not quite the lovely feeling solution that the DJI and the Hollyland have, but that is about my only complaint for the Rode system. So anyway, let me know down below what you think. Are you going to switch to the Rode Wireless Pro? Do you not use lavalier microphones? We'll have a nice little discussion about it. Thanks for watching this. We'll talk to you again soon. Okay, bye-bye.